Yo world, what's up? Just got back from a little dinner after the one event, and well, I wanted to throw a little video down because this story about this clown Sapo is so unbelievable. I can't even explain it through text. So let's start at the last fight. This jabroni fakes an eye poke. We all know he did it. So I say, okay, let's fight again. So one FC asks him, let's fight in June. I say, yeah, let's fight in June. He says, no, my eye. One offers him a fight in July. He says, no, I can't, my eye. I say, okay, fine. They said September. I say, let's fight September. He says, no, I don't want to fight in September. Meanwhile, I get a message from the Titan person that he's asking for a fight in Titan. And I actually have a screenshot of him saying, I don't have a contract with one. It's only in Asia I can fight in America. So he's just totally lying. So we finally get him to accept a fight here in November, and well, this is where things get really interesting. It's almost so unbelievable that you guys will probably think I'm making it up, but I'm really not. So he shows up, everyone sees him eating breakfast, right? And he's got about 20 pounds to cut. He got on a scale 20 pounds to cut. So, you know, we get to weigh-ins. I make weight like a pro, like I always do. He's nowhere to be found at all. He shows up about 15 minutes late. I think the first time he got on the scale, he was somewhere around 4 to 4.5 pounds overweight. And they're supposed to have an hour to cut weight over here. And I say, listen, I want it to be a title fight. He can have as long as he freaking wants to cut weight. I don't give a damn. Just make weight. So after about 3 hours, I believe he got down to around 2.2 pounds over. And he says, no more. I can't cut any more weight. So title fight's off. I sit down with the one brass. We're talking. Obviously, I still want to do the fight. And so his coaches come down to meet us, and they say, sorry about this. And I say, okay, well, let's fight, but I want him to make 185 pounds tomorrow. And they say, that's fine. That's more than fair. Appreciate you still taking the fight. I said, no problem. So I leave to go do some media, and about 2 hours later, I get a call, and he says, they tell me, Sapo says he cannot control his weight gain, and he won't be able to make 185. So I say, oh, crap, this guy's such a freaking lowlife. So I say, you know what? Give him 190. Give him 190. And so at first he says, no, I can't make 190. I can't make 190. And then he finally says, he realizes he has no other option. So he says, okay, I'll make 190. So, I'm sleeping. I wake up. I got a couple texts from my buddy Gerald, and he's down at breakfast. He's watching Sapo eat breakfast. There's multiple plates of breakfast, and he's got to make 190 pounds at 1 p.m. So we're figuring he's fine. He's stuffing his face in breakfast. So about 45 minutes later, I ended up down at breakfast. He's still there. He ended up being at breakfast for 90 minutes. We were all watching him eat. He was drinking juice, the whole thing. So we come back up to the room, and we were going to go out and do some errands on the town, and I kind of see this girl in the lobby, and she's kind of looking at me funny, and she kind of looks like a fighter. So I say, hey, how you doing? I'm Ben. Who are you here with? And she says, oh, I'm with Sapo. I said, okay. She said, yeah, I'm going to take him to the hospital. I'm like, well, what do you mean go to the hospital? I just saw him eating breakfast. He was hanging out, having a good time eating breakfast. So yeah, he needs to go to the hospital. I said, well, does one know about this? And she's like, no, we're just taking him. I said, whoa. So I went and found the one guys, and I said, listen, they're trying to take Sapo to the hospital. You can't let this happen. You got to figure something out. So one ends up sending a representative to the hospital with Sapo, where he's trying to repeatedly ask for an IV, and the doctor says, no, you're fine, right? So they do kidney tests, blood tests, liver blood tests, everything. Everything's normal. Everything comes back normal. Doctor says, you're fine. You don't need an IV. You're fine. Sends him back. Now, this is 1:30. Remember, he was supposed to weigh in at 1 o'clock. This is 1:30 now. So he gets back here, and I say, fine, just make him make the weight. I think he had 3 pounds, 3.5 pounds. So he gained 20. He made it down to about 172.2. So at this point, he had gained 22 pounds back. And he says, no, I'm not attempting. I won't even attempt to cut the weight. I won't attempt to do it. And people explain, listen, if you don't make 190, there's no fight. You're the one who missed weight. It's on you. He says, no, I'm not going to try. So they end up coming and tell me that. And by the time they went and tried to find him again, He was nowhere to be found, and allegedly, I can't prove this person, allegedly he went back to the hospital to get an IV. That's what I was told. So wow, that was a lot of ups and downs. It's really almost so unbelievable that this guy was trying to pull so many stunts. It's just like, it freaking blows my mind. The lack of professionalism and the fact that he was pretty much trying as hard as he could not to get engaged. I mean, literally, he gained 22 pounds and he's saying he can't lose 3 pounds. Meanwhile, we saw this scumbag stuffing his face at breakfast. He was literally sitting there eating breakfast for an hour and a half. Everybody's watching him. Everyone eats breakfast at the same place. You get free breakfast over here at this hotel, so it's a nice little deal, you know. Everyone's sitting around, but everyone's sitting around watching him eat, watching him drink. What's he doing? Well, he must be on weight. I don't know. No, he just wants to stuff his face so he can miss weight so he doesn't show up at the fight. Wow. Unfreaking believable. So, one had my back. They told him, hit the road, Jack. He ain't fighting. He's a bum. So, I just got back from the show. It was fantastic. The crowd was wild. Sold out show. Man, they went nuts for the hometown people. So, I will be back in America. I'm sorry for everyone who wanted to watch me fight, and I could not fight, but hey, I show up to work every time, on time, no injuries, no missing weight, no steroids. I do it the right way. I'm a real pro. I can help these other jabronis. So hopefully I got another fight coming up soon. I'll see you guys. Hope you enjoyed this explanation of what had happened over here in Singapore.